Assalamualaikum everyone and hi. I'm continue chapter 9 differentiation lecture 2 of 5 part 2. We continue with example 3. Okay. Differentiate 1 minus 2x multiply with 3x plus 2 over 5x minus 4. We can solve this question by using quotient rule. Okay, where the numerator is u, denominator is v. But you have to take note inside of u here we can see that there is a product of two function. So I let u equals to 1 minus 2x multiply with 3x plus 2 and v equals to 5x minus 4. So to get u prime, you need to do product rule here. You need to do product rule by let this one is u and 3x plus 2 is v. Okay, so in quotient rule we have product rule. Okay, so u prime is equals to u is 1 minus 2x differentiate 3x plus 2 3 plus copy 3x plus 2 then differentiate u prime negative 2. Okay, so the answer is negative 12x minus 1. This is u prime. Okay, so to solve the question overall, we need to do quotient rule. We need to use quotient rule. So remember the rule, y prime is equals to v u prime minus u v prime over v squared. So we have to find out here what is v prime. V prime is 5. So substitute u prime, v and v prime into the formula. Then we get y prime equals to v. What is v? V you have to multiply with u prime. So v is 5x minus 4 multiply with u prime negative 12x minus 1 minus u. What is u? U is 1 minus 2x multiply with 3x plus 2. Then what is v prime? We have to cross here. V prime is 5 over v squared. What is v squared? 5 minus 4. 5x minus 4 you need to square. Okay, now we have already substitute into the formula. Please make sure you use the right formula here. Okay, make sure you use the right formula by using quotient rule. Okay, so now you have to expand. We have 5x multiply with negative 12x, we get negative 60x squared negative 5x plus 48x plus 4 minus, I bring 5 in front here, 5 ever in front, so that multiply with 5 times 3x plus 2 minus 6x squared minus 4x over 5x minus 4 squared. Simplify, then we get negative 60x squared plus 43x plus 4 minus 15x minus 10 plus 30x squared plus 20x over 5x minus 4 squared. Then you simplify, you will get negative 30x squared plus 48x minus 6 over 5x minus 4 squared. Or you can factorize negative 6, and in the bracket we have 5x squared minus 8x plus 1 over 5x minus 4 squared. Okay, so you have to do product rule first to find what is u prime here. After you do product rule, you use quotient rule. You can use quotient rule. Okay, this is one way of method. You can use the other method if you think it is suitable. Okay, thank you. Okay, now we continue with next example. B, d dx, or differentiate x multiply with 1 minus 2 over x plus 1. So this is another way of writing. You don't have to write y equals to something, but you just write d dx here. D dx means differentiate the function, the term in the bracket with respect to x. So now differentiate x minus 2x over x plus 1. I expand x here. Then, so you have to differentiate each term. Differentiate x with respect to x, you get the answer. What is the answer? 1 minus differentiate 2x over x plus 1 here. You have to use quotient rule. Use quotient rule. Where u is 2x, u prime is 2, v is x plus 1, v prime is 1. So we substitute into the formula. V u prime, v is x plus 1, u prime is 2, minus u v prime, u is 2x, v prime is 1. Then you have to divide by v squared, that is x plus 1 squared. Okay, so we already integrate x. The answer is 1. So 1 minus this one, I already differentiate, and the answer is minus 2x plus 2 minus 2x over x plus 1 squared. So we cancel out 2x here, and the answer is 1 minus 2 over x plus 1 squared. Okay, this is another way of answering the question.
The first rule here is chain rule. If y equal fu is a differentiable function of u, and u equal gx is a differentiable function of x, therefore y equal f gx is a differentiable function of x. Then dy dx equal dy du times with du dx, or equivalently, differentiable of gx is f prime gx times with g prime x. Now, we look at the first example, how to find dy dx if we have the function of u and we have the function of x. Here we have y in terms of u, then we are going to differentiate y with respect to u. Then we write dy du, we differentiate y with respect to u. So we get here is 3u squared minus 6u. And then here, when we have u in terms of x, we differentiate u with respect to x is equal to x. And now we are going to find the dy dx. As we know that chain rule, dy dx is equal dy du times with du dx. So here, dy dx is equal 3u squared minus 6u times with 2x. And then we have to simplify. Before we simplify this answer, we have to substitute u, because now dy dx, we said that we differentiate y with respect to x. Then we substitute u in terms of x. Here we get u is x squared plus 2 minus 6. Okay, u squared here minus 6, x squared plus 2, and then we close the bracket, times with 2x. And here, after that, we can put 2x in front. Then we simplify in the big bracket first. X squared plus 2 all squared, we get x power 4 plus 4x squared plus 4 minus 6x squared minus 12, and we close the bracket. Then we can simplify this one as 3x power 4 plus 12x squared plus 12 minus 6x squared minus 12. So what we get here, okay, we can simplify plus 12 and minus 12, plus 12x squared minus 6x squared, we get plus 6x squared. After that, we can factorize the 3x power 4 and 6x squared. Okay, we can factor out 3x squared, and then here we have the x squared plus 2. Okay, when we can leave the answer like this, or we can multiply, we can simplify this one, 2x with the 3x squared, we get 6x cubed times with x squared plus 2. Okay, this is the final answer.
Example 5. Now we are going to solve example 5 by using chain rule. So how to use chain rule? So you need to let x plus 4 here as a u. So u equals to x plus 4. So if you let u equals to x plus 4, so what is y in terms of u? Y equals to u to the power of 3u cubed. Now we have two equations. First one, u in terms of x. This one, y in terms of u. Okay, take note that we have two equation here. So when we want to differentiate u here, so when you differentiate is du with respect to x. So du dx equals to 1. Okay, now differentiate y. Differentiate y, dy with respect to u, du, dy du equals to 3u squared. Okay, by using the rule here that we have learned. So differentiate u cubed 3u squared. So now we want to find out what is dy dx. As usual, we want to find out what is the derivative of this function with respect to x, means dy dx. Dy dx is equals to dy du. You have to multiply with du dx. Okay, so please take note that as if we can cancel out du here, so you get back dy dx. Okay, so what is dy du? Dy du you can substitute here. So substitute dy du is 3u squared. Multiply with what is du dx? Du dx is 1. So this is the answer, 3u squared. But you have to substitute. What is u? You have to substitute. Substitute u equals to x plus 4 into the answer. So the answer is 3x plus 4 squared. This is how you can solve the question by using chain rule. Okay, so you have to use this rule. Thank you. Okay, now we continue B. Differentiate y equals to 1 over 4x plus 9 by using chain rule. So you have to think, what is the expression you want to choose as a u? So we choose u as 4x plus 9. So if you let u equals to 4x plus 9, so what is du dx? We don't say du over dx. No, this one we call du dx. Du dx equals to 4. Or we say we differentiate u with respect to x. Okay. Okay. Now this equation will become y equals to 1 over u. Or you can write y equals to u to the power of negative 1. So differentiate y with respect to u. You will get dy du equals to negative 1 u multiplied by u to the power of negative 1 minus 1, negative 2. Or you can write negative 1 over u squared. So we want to find out what is dy dx. Okay, so dy dx equals to, okay, one more time I write the equation, dy du multiply with du dx. So dy du, what is dy du? This one, you substitute. Negative 1 over u squared. Du dx, what is du dx? 4. So we substitute 4 here. So basically this is the answer. The answer is negative 4 over u squared. But you have to substitute what is u here. What is u? Substitute u. So negative 4 over 4x plus 9 squared. Okay, you must substitute u. You cannot stop until here. Okay, now we move to the example C. Y equals to 7x minus 2. Okay, what is the expression for u? You want to let 7x minus 2 as a u? Yes, you are right. U equals to 7x minus 2. Okay, so du dx equals to 7. So y will become equals to set u. Don't take u with the set. Okay, it is the wrong choice. The right choice is u equals to 7x minus 2. So you can write u as a u to the power of half. dy du equals to half of u to the power of half minus 1. dy du equals to half of u to the power of negative 1 over 2. dy du. Therefore, dy dx equals to dy du. What is dy du? 1 over 2. Then now need this one you simplify to get 1 over 2 u to the power of half. Then 1 over 2 u to the power of half. Multiply with du dx. Du dx 7. So this is the answer. 7 over 2 u to the power of half. Okay. But don't forget to substitute u. So when you substitute u, so the answer is 7 over 2 7x minus 2 to the power of half, or you can write as 7 over 2 7x minus 2. Okay.
In general, any composite function of the form y equal fx power n involving some function fx raised to a rational power n is called the general power rule, and it is a special case of the chain rule. Now, we see y equal fx power n, then we let y equal u power n. We substitute u equal fx here. Then we differentiate y with respect to u, then we get nu power n minus 1. And then we differentiate u with respect to x, then we get f prime x. Using the chain rule, we know that dy dx equal dy du times with du dx. So, dy dx is equal nu power n minus 1 times with f prime x. Then we substitute u equal fx. Therefore, we get, to differentiate the function fx power n, we get n times with fx power n minus 1 times with f prime x. Let's look at example 2. Find the derivative of y equal 2x power 4 minus 9x plus 6 and all power 4. Then here we write the dy dx. We differentiate y with respect to x, and we are going to use the general power rule. Then we bring down the power here. We have 4 times with, we rewrite the function 2x power 4 minus 9x plus 6 power 4 minus 1. And then we multiply with the derivative of the function here. We have 8x cubed minus 9. Then we arrange the factor here. 4 times 8x cubed minus 9 and 2x power 4 minus 9x plus 6 cubed. And this is the final answer. Next, we go to another question. the question given in the form of fraction. For your information, general power rule can be used for the function y equal fx power n. Before we differentiate this fraction, we have to change to the function like this. We change it to the form 2 times with 3x squared minus 1 power negative 1 over 5. After that, we can differentiate y with respect to x by using general power rule. Now we differentiate dy dx equal 2 times with, we bring down the power here, negative 1 over 5 times with the function 3x squared minus 1 power negative 1 over 5 minus 1, we get negative 6 over 5, and multiply with the differentiable for the 3x squared minus 1 here, we get 6x, and then we close bracket. Then we simplify in the big bracket first. Here we get negative 6x over 5 times with 3x squared minus 1 power negative 6 over 5. And we can bring down the 3x squared minus 1 power negative 6 over 5. So, and we can multiply 2 with the negative 6x, we get negative 12x over 5 times with 3x squared minus 1 power 6 over 5. Okay, this is the final answer.
Now we continue example 7. Differentiate gx equals to set of x over 1 minus x. So we can solve this question by let gx equals to x over 1 minus x to the power of 1 over 2. So you have to remember power rule, yeah? When y equals to fx, fx is any function in terms of x. Y is any function in terms of x. We have power here, power n. So dy dx is equals to, you have to bring n in front and multiply with fx to the power of n, you have to minus 1. Then you haven't finished yet, you can differentiate dx or d dx fx. Okay, this is power rule. If given y equals to fx to the power of n. So now I want to apply this rule. So what is g prime x? G prime x is equals to half, I bring half in front, multiply with x over 1 minus x. The power of half minus 1 is negative 1 over 2, right? Then you have to multiply with d dx. It's not dy dx, d dx. d dx means you want to differentiate. What is the expression you want to differentiate? You want to differentiate x over 1 minus x. Don't take with the 1 over 2. Okay, only x over 1 minus x. Okay, we haven't differentiated yet, but we just write first. So now the answer is, make sure you have to, this recall back, you have learned this rule. A, if given a over b to the power of negative n, you can write as 1 over a over b to the power of n. Or you can simplify to get b over a to the power of n. Now I want to use this formula. So b here is b is equals to 1 over x. 1 over x will be going upward now, upward. So 1 over 2, so 1 minus x is here. X will going down. Power will become 1 over 2 here. Okay, there is no more negative. Then you have to differentiate this one. X over 1 minus x. To differentiate x over 1 minus x, you need to use quotient rule here. You need to use quotient rule. So quotient rule said u v prime. So u is v1 minus x. Now we will differentiate x. Differentiate x is 1 minus. So what is u? U is x. Differentiate v, 1 minus x is negative 1. Don't forget to divide over v squared. What is v squared? 1 minus x. Okay, now we get the answer. Okay, I haven't write what is u and v, but we do straightforward. So now the answer is 1 over 2, 1 minus x over x to the power of 1 over 2. So simplify the expression in the bracket here. So you will get 1 minus x plus x over 1 minus x squared. So negative x will cancel out with x. Okay. Therefore, you will get 1 over 2 1 minus x over x to the power of 1 over 2 multiply with 1 over 1 minus x squared. Okay, now you can simplify by using another rule. Let's say a to the power of m over a to the power of n can be written as a to the power of m minus n, isn't it? So if you let a equals to 1 minus x, so you can simplify these two term. Okay, so now I simplified to get 1 over 2 third x. Then we have 1 over x, because we have two term here, 1 over x to the power of half. You have minus 2, this one minus 2. Okay, so we have 1 over 2 third x, and the numerator is 1 minus x to the power of half minus 2. You will get 3 over 2. 3 over 2, and don't forget the negative in front. Okay, so now we will bring negative 3 over 2 downward. Then you will get 1 over 2 third x multiply with 1 minus x to the power of 3 over 2, and you can simplify to get 1 over 2 third x, and here we have another third 1 minus x to the power of 3 here, of 3. So 2 is square root here. So this is the final answer. Okay, I hope you can understand and go through the question one more time until you understand what is the concept that I have used here. Okay, thank you.